If I lived out in California, I probably wouldn't be here today. This is the untold story of Mischief that I've always wanted to get out there. It's something I've never made public, and it's been eating me alive. And it's not just fans, it's just everybody that knows Mischief and Teckademics wants to know what the hell happened. What's the true story behind it? It's really hard for me to tell, but it has to be told. And so here we go. Last time I was here, I talked about Mischief and how Mischief started and our whole history of our company, Teckademics. But now I'm going to tell you why me leaving Teckademics actually saved the Mischief series. Just a brief history, Sean and I started Teckademics in 2002. He was living on his grandma's couch. He was going through some bad times, and I was fresh out of college, film school, looking for a real film job. Also around that time when I met Sean, he was like 2 years sober. So he's had a bad past, but he was cleaning himself up. We had many phone conversations. I really liked his ideas about Teckademics. So we formed Teckademics together, and plus he put up all the capital for it. I didn't have anything to lose because I didn't put any money in for it. Mischief is based on my VHS movies I made in college from a series called Accelerate, and Mischief was actually one of the chapters, like a chapter of street racing and running from police. It was kind of just what Mischief is now. So that was the perfect name, Mischief. That was our first product. I would produce Mischief on the East Coast. Sean lived on the West Coast, and he would put out all the fires and sign all the business deals. Like I said, he put up all the money for it. I didn't. I had nothing to lose. My salary was 10% of the profits for Mischief, which sounds really low. However, when you're fresh out of college and 10% is $7,000 a month, you feel rich. So I didn't care. I was like, whatever. And of course, Mischief took off. And throughout the years, paychecks were coming in. I was doing most of the funding for Mischief because, like I said, I did all the production, and Sean did all the other business side of it. In 2003, we were going through the whole gumball lawsuit thing, and Sean's lawyer suggested to start another company just in case we lose Teckademics. He started Destroy Studios, and that was his company. From Mischief 3 and on, I would sign with Destroy Studios, not Teckademics, which I didn't mind because we didn't lose Teckademics' name after the whole gumball thing. We released other movies under the Teckademics name that I didn't produce. Girls of Mischief and Mayhem and JDM Mischief. We had our own line of clothing. We had Wheels by Zanetti. Even had a short run of Puma Speed Cats with Teckademics on it. If you can find them, they only made 1,000 pair. They're worth a lot of money. Me and Dado, our driver, we're traveling the world like rock stars, being invited to cover all these rallies. There's nothing in the back of my head to think that Sean would screw me over. There was just, because we're just having so much fun. We're building up this company. And the whole goal of building up Teckademics was to sell it in a couple of years, and that's where I'd be truly compensated. In 2004, the DVD market just crashed. Our distributor, Video Action Sports, VAS, went out of business. In order to get DVDs into Best Buy, Circuit City, and all the stores, you needed a distributor. My business partner, Sean, with one of the salesmen from VAS, started a company called Destroy Entertainment. It's a little confusing. Destroy Studios was Sean's company. Destroy Entertainment is the company they started within Warner Brothers Music to distribute movies like Mischief. It's like the whole extreme sport genre, like Adrenaline Crew, which is a motorcycle movie, and Drift Alliance, and crazy, motorsports type of DVDs. So the reason why they formed this new company is because all the distributors were going out of business because the DVD market was shrinking. Of course, Warner Brothers was huge, so it was really good to be with a company that wasn't sinking and going out of business like the other distributors. Plus, it sounded really cool to have, Mischief distributed by Warner Brothers Music. Mischief 5 Dynasty was our first movie signed with Destroy Entertainment. Before the royalties started coming in, they had me sign a contract for Mischief 6 and 7. I don't care. We were making a lot of money, and Dynasty was actually one of our biggest sellers. First royalty check comes, it's next to nothing. And I'm like, oh, wow, okay, something's really fishy here. And it was nowhere close to $7,000 a month when I'm used to, So I was like, I know we had to pay back some of the advances maybe. So the next paycheck is in every month, still the same, really low. And their excuse, Sean's excuse, was the DVD market's dying. I'm thinking, and this is my opinion, that they're basically running Destroy Entertainment based off the Mischief profits because they didn't have really any other big titles. But now everything was signed under Destroy Studios. I really didn't get the accurate royalty reports. But you know what? We're still having fun. We're still going out, being invited to people's houses, driving their cars. We're still traveling around the world, having a great time. Around this time, after Dynasty came out, Sean was pretty much kind of over Teckademics because he was more concerned about Destroy Entertainment. So Teckademics was kind of put on the back burner, which kind of sucked for me, but I was still in contract to do Mischief 6 and 7. I figured, you know what, I'll finish 6 and see where it goes from here. Destroy Entertainment is signing all kinds of DVDs. They're becoming really popular, widely popular. We finished 6. I turned in all the materials for them to make a DVD, and I got a $5,000 down payment, and that's the last time Sean paid me royalties, period, for anything Mischief related. So I'm like, okay, it's time for me to go. We were in talks with MTV. If you see it at the end of Mischief Assault, we actually show up at MTV Studios. So it wasn't easy for me to just walk away from producing Mischief and Teckademics because I wanted my own TV show. That was a whole, that's my personal goal. We went into a couple meetings and they loved Mischief, and they loved the fact that we had enough content for 2 seasons. They had no liability because everything was filmed. It's easy for them, it's cheap for them. The only thing we had to do was to prove our popularity. They wanted to play 1 or 2 minute like montages during their rock block. And this is in 2007 on MTV2 when they played actually music videos. So I was still on contract with Mischief 7. I had to find a way to get out of the contract. With this MTV deal, I had to edit together this 1 minute montage just to send to MTV. And I refused. I told Sean, I'm not going to do it until you let me out of my Mischief 7 contract. I want to renegotiate with it when it comes time. So I will send the tapes to MTV when you let me out of my contract. He caved, let me out of the contract, sent the clips to MTV. They gave us a 2-month period to see whether that was going to be proven popular, and it was. And we set up a meeting where we're going to sign a contract to do 2 seasons, and it was cake because we're ready to go on this. Then we get an email before the meeting from our showrunner, who was in charge of everything, saying that he's quitting the network and working for another network, going to a different channel. So all the projects under him was canceled. We had contacts at MTV because we were there so many times trying to make this deal. Unfortunately, every 5-6 years or so, MTV and MTV2 purges everybody. They fire everybody to bring in new talent to keep everything fresh. We lost all our contacts. But this was a blessing in disguise because I wanted to do the TV show, but I was stuck with Sean doing it. So this time I know it was time for me to leave Teckademics. So it took me about a year to plan my exit. I want to make sure everybody's on my side. All the Mischief crew is on my side. And of course they were, because they knew I was getting screwed over for years. Then while this is all going on, I'm finding out that my royalties in the past never included overseas royalties. It never included Blockbuster or Hollywood Video, because that was all through Destroy Studios, and Sean was hiding that from me. As I'm getting ready to quit, I get a phone call from Sean saying, hey, look, I have a Chinese company that wants to buy Teckademics. They're gonna give you a large sum of money. I said, okay. They would hire you to keep the Mischief series going. I said, cool. So how much are they gonna give me? $20,000. I quit the next day. So I walked away from this company that I helped create. It was heartbreaking, but I had to walk away. And I was trying to continue the Mischief series without Sean. It sucked though, because like the week after I quit, I did the Players Run in 07. When I was broke, I was like, you know what, maybe this will be like the launch of the next Mischief 7 that I wanted to do, release myself based on this Players Run. And we've done Players Run before, and we dealt with the organizer. He's kind of shady, because we featured Players Run in 03 in Mischief Destroy. Then in Dynasty, he only allowed us to use 20 minutes of the footage for our movie. We go on this 07 run, bring a couple cars. We've had a couple cameras, film this whole event for him, sent him all the video footage, and he said, you cannot use any of my footage in your future DVDs. After all this, I'm just like, this is ridiculous. A couple months after I quit Teckademics, I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do. I want to sue Sean, and Sean is going a little nuts because I pretty much took his paycheck away from him, because if there's no Mischief, there's no money coming into Destroy Studios or Tech, his side of the company. And so remember I told you when we started this, he was sober. Now he's getting into drugs and drinking again because he's leaving me all kinds of bizarre messages. All over the map, his personality and everything's changed. He would leave me messages like, yeah, I don't know why the hell you're doing this, bro. I'd sue you right now, but you don't have any money. And he would just start laughing. And those were all kinds of weird messages he would leave me. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to sue this guy. I got an entertainment lawyer in DC, which was a mistake. I should have got an entertainment lawyer in California to go after him. I at least want the permission to go on with Mischief without him. Wasting a lot of money with the lawyer in DC, it didn't go anywhere. It turns out Sean lost his house. He was really desperate. So I was like, okay, cool. My friend Brian negotiated a contract with Sean to continue the Mischief series without him. So all this was going on. We're still trying to get Mischief back, and we want a TV show. I forget what year it was. It was during the Hollywood writer's strike. It was like a 100-day writer's strike. We met with this producer, and he was really interested in Mischief. My friend Brian and I went out to California and met with him a couple times. He loved it. Mischief TV sounded wonderful. He knew we had a deal with MTV, and it was the same deal where we have enough content for a couple seasons that they don't have to worry about liability. That's the problem with the dangerous stuff that we do is the liability. Somebody gets killed during production, they get sued. It's easy win-win for us and them. We scheduled one last appointment to talk about this and finalize the deal. The day that we finalize the deal is the day the writer's strike ends. Sorry, we don't have time for you. So we kept on running into all this bad luck. And it's almost like we can produce Mischief, have a great time, not kill anybody. You can't make a profit off of it. That's what it just seemed like. So we produced Mischief Joyride, and that came out in 2009. Unfortunately, there's no more distributors. So that was a flop financially because it was just online sales and that's it. And of course, the internet in 2009, so it was faster, so people were able to upload it and download it quicker. 2011, I got with my friend Rachel, and she had a really awesome entertainment lawyer out in California, a friend of hers that was going to help me free and basically try to get the rights back to Mischief 1 through 6. So if we did any other deal in the future, he won't come back to haunt us and try to sue us. They couldn't find him. Everything was foreclosed or repoed. They couldn't find him at all. A couple months later, it turns out he was in jail for weapons charges. And I guess his girlfriend broke up with him, and he showed up to her house with weapons. Got charged with possession. And I honestly believe that if I lived out in California, I probably wouldn't be here today because he went off the deep end because I pretty much took everything from him. He got released in September, and I got a phone call from a mutual friend said that he overdosed and had a heart attack and died at his mom's house. When we met, you were on your grandma's couch. You know, we started making money. We built this fantastic company. And you lived in you moved up. You lived in an apartment to a nice townhouse to a beautiful home in Orange County with a GT3. I didn't get any of that, but we built this company that everybody loved, and he just got greedy and lost everything. Lost everything. I forgive him for what he did, but I don't feel sorry. He knew exactly what he was doing. So a couple of months later, I get a phone call from Sean's twin brother, which I haven't talked to in years. And when you're not expecting it, he sounds like Sean. So my heart just dropped. He's like, bro, what's up? I could have swore that was Sean. Of course, it's his twin brother. They have the whole California, the accent. And he wanted me to bring Teckademics back. And I'm like, Sean owes me $1 million worth of royalties and everything. He's like, oh, I know. Just build up the company. I want you to eventually share the profits with his sons. So basically me build up the company and keep $1 million worth of profit and then start sharing money with his. It's just sounded like a scam Sean would call up and tell me. And I'm just like, no, I'm not going to do this. I want to bring Teckademics back, but the name is tainted. There's so much darkness around it. I just want to just forget it. And then I found out that he lost the Teckademics URL. I'm like, oh, great. I looked the other day. Somebody's been sitting on it. They want like $50,000 for it. I just went and bought Teckademics.tv for $30. I want to bring Teckademics back. It had to be with clothing, but I think that's about as far as I'm going to go with that. 2012, I started getting sick. I had a hiatal hernia where your stomach comes up your esophagus into your chest. And so you need a surgery to pull the stomach down, tie your stomach. That whole ordeal was 6 years. I had 2 surgeries. With all this stuff that was going on with Teckademics and with my surgeries and being sick all the time, you have to keep positive. You have to keep a positive face. Nobody wants somebody online that they looked up to or they love their movies and all they're doing is complaining about how they didn't get their fair share. Nobody talked about it. We just kept going. I started feeling better in 2018, and that's where Ed comes in, tells me to do a couple Mischief stories. So I credit him for the rebirth of Mischief. So I go and tell Mischief stories. Everybody remembers it. Everybody's happy. I'm excited about it. I'm ready to go and upload all our old Mischief clips onto YouTube. And then I get sick again. And I'm like, come on, man. My acid reflux comes back and I'm thinking, oh man, I got a 3rd surgery coming for this mess. And then now I'm having seasonal allergies I've never had before. 6 months of testing. Luckily, it was something minor, which is absolutely ridiculous. I was taking medication for high blood pressure, and an unknown side effect of this medication was it causes acid reflux. Acid reflux mimics or causes seasonal allergies. All this happened because of the medication I was taking to control my blood pressure. So as of January 2019, I am healthy. I'm ready to go on this, and I'm back here with Ed, and I appreciate everybody's support over the years, and especially the Teckademics Army, because not making money after all these years, why I might keep going is because of our fan base, and I thank you guys. Thank you guys for that. That was a pretty hard story to tell. It was a pretty hard story to tell.
A watch can do a lot more than just tell time. It can make a statement to the world or show people a little bit more about who you want to be. Vincero offers an awesome line of designer watches at a great value that you can check out today at the link in the description below. You can also use the code VinWiki for a discount at checkout. So be sure to check them out and thank them for their support of the channel and find your next watch. It might start a great conversation, turn some heads, or who knows, lead to your next great story.